Brainiacs! Human! What is going on, everybody? Ah! You guys drinking? I got some mojo. I got my mojo on. You guys can't hear him, but I got NASAnon on the other end of the stick here. He's muted. He's cracked. He's in my ear here. Tonight, my friends, we're going to talk about some shit that's probably going to get us in trouble. Says, I will tell you the truth if it kills me. We're going to go through a list of whistleblowers tonight. NASAnon brought it to my attention. There was another fella that Mr. BARNETT worked for Boeing. Sort of like blew the whistle on some shit, and like 2 days later, wouldn't you know it? 2 days later. That's all it took. That's it. We're going to go over, like I said, Mr. Seth Rich over here, right there. Mr. CROWLEY. Again, Mr. CROWLEY, if you guys don't know who CROWLEY is, he is the fellow that came out with the movie The Gray State. And prior to that movie's release, he took out his wife, his kids, the family dog, and then commits to shooting himself in the back of the head, not just once, but twice. Yeah, man. Cannot make... NASAnon just said it's funny how that happened to Gary Webb as well. You guys don't want to miss this broadcast. Share it. Share this broadcast. Share this podcast. Don't go anywhere, Brainiac. We'll catch you right after this.
The Crystal Cove and mystic charms where magic meets the mundane and the extraordinary becomes everyday. Are you ready to gift yourself with the whispers of ancient power stones? To feel and hear the echoes of our ancient past? Dive into a world where each pendant tells a story, where rare stones hold secrets known only to the universe itself. At Crystal Cove, our collection isn't just jewelry. It's a gateway to a realm of mysticism and wonder. Let the shimmering opal guide you through twilight dreams, or embrace the fiery energy of the sun with our exquisite amber pendants. Each piece, handcrafted by the hands of a true mystic who understand the language of the earth and the fire of one's heart. At Crystal Cove and Mystic Charms, we believe that every soul deserves to sparkle. Whether you seek solace in the calming embrace of amethyst or wish to dance with the vibrant hues of turquoise, our collection holds the key to unlocking your inner magic if you allow it to be so. Visit us today and discover the pendant that speaks to your soul. Crystal Cove and Mystic Charms, where the beauty of our amazing earthy realm meets the magic of the cosmos.
What do you say, Brainiacs? You guys ready? It's time. It's showtime, brains. That's right. It's Matrix time. And it's go time. Welcome aboard, everybody. Let's go! Talk about ufology, conspiracy, controversy, and anything and everything that we can get into tonight. Let's go. This should be really, really fun. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Hey, Miss Morgan. And Miss Teresa. Mr. Lee Grant from Miss Barbara Morton, Yvonne, Mr. Mike Carl from Cloud Cover. Yeah. Hey, Mr. Adams. Trying to get up, Brainiacs. Mr. William Garrison's like, I don't know what's going on around this mother. Yeah. Shout out, Miss Lisa Yale. Billy Funnel. It's definitely your show. Your show, and we appreciate you for being here. Buckle up, everybody. Welcome aboard. Alright, brainiacs. Wow, let's go over here. Look at this. This screen is all fudged up, but it's alright. What is cracking, everybody? Man, welcome to Fade to Stain, where we're going to throw some declassified information up in this. Share this broadcast as much as you possibly can. Copy it, share it all over the globe. Ignore that bullshit. All right, look, man, Mr. NASAnon, we're gonna talk to you right now. Say hello, everybody. What do you think?
What's going on, everybody? It's me. Glad to be here again. Hi to everyone, Morgan, Teresa, all you people.
Oh, dude, welcome to Fade to Stain. That's my mockery tool.
Yeah, it's interesting how things, follow up. Like last week we did the show about TIs, and this week it just so happens there was a whistleblower assassinated, pretty obviously.
Can you see your screen, out of curiosity?
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
I think so.
Check.
I see the mic going.
Yeah.
I see my sound levels.
Yeah, there you go. See, I'm trying. All I got to do is like turn this little thing on my dial, right? Turn my dial here, and then I'll be like up in the cherry patch, right? And I don't really want to do that, but I literally have got you cranked all the way up, bro, and I've got. Let's try that, right? Try it again. And
how about now?
It's getting better, but nevertheless, I don't know why. I always have problems with you on here. No idea, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably my computer. It's probably something in the sound card. It's a modified, super cheap computer.
Super cheap. It's all we can afford. And I just dumped water in my damn keyboard. Did I tell you you heard that?
Yeah, you told me about that.
Talk about silent killers. That'll kill it real quick. So if shit just goes south, man, that's what happened. My keyboard.
Well, if this becomes unsustainable, I'll just grab my phone and call, and it's no big deal.
Well, I got you so far. You're up. You're like medium yellow. You're medium yellow. I can't. I'd like to have you right where I'm at.
See, on my side, I'm getting static, and yeah, I'm just barely hitting the mid yellow range. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's still coming through staticky.
Shout out to you, Miss Marnie Slater. What's up, girlfriend? You've got some amazing pendants, sweetheart. You've got to shoot me over some pictures so I can try to help you a little bit. You help you, help me self. Blah, blah, blah. How's that? I help you, you help me. Blah, blah, whatever. Yvonne says, I will try Messenger. All right. Yeah, here's the thing. I wanted to shout out to some people and say that on the other end of things, all of these whistleblowers that literally lay their life on the line for everybody, that is some shit. That is a hell of a life to live. I know one comes to mind, and you guys know him very well. Again, I'll always say this: once military, always military. You ain't gonna retire. You just light a fire on some bitch, and it's gonna they'll blow, right? Nevertheless, I guess the same way with the Boeing guy. I don't know the story behind the Boeing guy, bro. I truly don't. I'm new to that story. Like I told you, I didn't hear anything. What's up with him? I know about Seth Rich and know about CROWLEY and my boys Max Spears, but I don't know nothing about this guy. What's up with him?
It's weird. It's like sound is coming through lower and lower every second.
Did you say sound is coming through lower and lower every second? Let me stop sharing my screen, and then you can jump on that one.
Oh, that's much a big screen. Am I still coming through clear?
So far, yeah. So far.
Okay.
I will say that they hacked your shit once. Right? They hacked your shit once.
Yeah.
So I don't put anything beyond them.
Yeah. So that connects into what I wanted to say. Thanks, Marnie. Um, if for those of you that know me, Teresa, Monica, if you're here, anybody else listening to the podcast, my Facebook got hacked a couple weeks ago. I thought I could get it back. I almost got it back today, but the guy was just a little too fast. So if you guys can report my account is hacked, that would be great, and that would expedite me getting it back, because I don't know why Facebook is taking so much time. Like, I have 2 devices on the site I'm registered on, and all you got to do is look at my account history. But these guys are fucking assholes. So do me a favor and report it so that maybe I can get my account back sooner. I tried to start a new account and they won't let me. I don't know why Facebook is so jacked, but we know it's a bad system. It's just the front lines of the war.
All right. I will definitely report your profile. I will. So tell me, what's up with this? What's up with this this whistleblower that died within 2 days, bro? I don't know the story.
Okay, so I'm not going to pretend like I memorized all the details, but he was illustrating things that literally made me shake and never ever want to fly again, especially with United, because they have like the most max Boeings. But I put a little something together here, just kind of a dedication to him as a whistleblower and everyone else. It's not the greatest, but that's probably because I put it together in like 10 minutes. But did you hear about John Barnett? One more whistleblower, just found dead in a parking lot, gunshot self-inflicted. I can't help being reminded of Gary Webb. I'm reminded this work comes at a cost. I think of Julian Assange as he slowly rots, or Snowden as he hides from U.S. psyops, but I will continue for the loved ones I've lost. So if you're listening, I'm talking to you. I want you to share what you know is the truth. When it comes to corruption, it's not hard to find proof. If you can't find a reason, just look at the youth. And as for you feds, I know you hear all, so you might want to walk away before your system falls. Grow a conscience, drop the ego, bring down those walls before karma, the bitch she is, finally comes to call. Okay, that's it.
Okay, that's it. That was a nice little outro. Should we you know what? That's yeah, check this out. I'd say that pretty much hit the nail on the head, dude.
I was wanting to cover more whistleblowers, it just didn't come to mind.
Right?
But illustrating beginning to end, because the Boeing Clinton connections, they're not a secret. Gary Webb was assassinated by the Clinton syndicate. It's quite possible that Boeing looked to the Clinton organization this time because they're so tightly knit. I mean, you're talking about a company that got sued for making hollowed out Cessnas for the Clintons when they were in Little Rock so that they could run their coke. Like, they were literally being accused of that, and then all the witnesses died. One of them was infamously ran over by a train in a very remote area where they shouldn't have been at all. So yeah, it was one of those things where, those Boeing Clinton connections are too hard to ignore. And Boeing was a nothing company, really, until the Clintons got hold of it in the 80s and 90s. Right. And they are the ones that gave it all the defense contracts that they weren't really ready for. And it's funny because it's 30 years later and they're still not capable of doing their own defense contracts. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And it's quite likely that Boeing had him assassinated, because if you're going to kill yourself, you're going to do it in privacy. You're not going to blow your head off in a freaking parking lot, especially when you're in the process of telling the truth.
Right. Well, see, that's kind of what again, great title. I'll tell you the truth, even if it kills me. I forgot even the word even, but that's what you pretty much have told me. I'm going to tell you the truth if it kills me. I mean, I don't want nothing to happen to you at all. But you're like, I guess even myself, bro, and a lot of people don't think that just being the broadcaster is a detriment, but dude, I share some pretty heavy shit, man. Again, you ain't gonna find it here. I'm pointing at the damn show, right? You ain't gonna find it there. But the things that need talked about. There's I don't remotely like the word. You know what? I shared on Miss Cat what the hell is the name of that girl's name? Oh, the Congressman Cat so. I shared. I'm very, very vocal, right? And she's talking about, the Biden administration and all this other shit, and I'm going. I was very, 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 very clear on, and vocal about, it's not just that administration that's the problem. She's going on and on about the CCP and blah 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 blah, right? And I'm like, it's y'all's the problem. It's you all are the problem. I'm quite sure that I can get along with all of the little all of the Chinese people. I can get along with the Ukrainian people. Morgan can get along with them. Barbara can get along with them. You can get along with them. We all can get along. Why does your mic keep muting?
Oh, I was setting to my better mic.
Damn,
Much
that's
better, right?
nice and loud.
Yeah, it went back to my default. That's what I didn't see, and I just fixed it. So now we're good.
All right.
Now I don't have to hold it in front of my head like a retard.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Miss Cat. Yeah, here's the thing. We all of us people, like I shared on her feed, we ain't the fucking problem. We know the problem, and I told them straight up, we know who the problem is. Okay, and I don't even have to say it. The problem, you guys already know who the problem is, and it's multiple sectors of governing. I'm not saying that we need to get rid of all government. I'm just saying we need to get rid of the corrupt government. This buy-in bullshit. He said, she said, pay in, buy me, pay to play, blah, 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 blah. That shit right there needs to stop. Because
okay, so there are lots of ways where we can shut down the dissenters at this point. I'm not talking about censoring people. I'm talking about them, basically showing them a way to censor themselves in terms of their programming. So what I'm talking about is censoring brainwashing, if you understand that, basically wiping it out. And the way you do this, say the Israel situation, the Gaza situation, it still has a lot of apologists, including much of Hollywood. But if you bring up sex trafficking and the fact that the nation of Israel were the bosses of Epstein, as revealed by Alex Acosta and court documents, they have no arguments left. Why are we funding Epstein's bosses? So they can run more sex trafficking in our government? Is that why we're doing this? Why are we funding this when, like, for my experience, which people still don't believe 24 years later, actually almost 30 years later, that Israel was directly involved with mind control and weather modification using taxpayer dollars, which is now being used to poison and suffocate everyone you know and love, including blocking the sky and blocking the sun, which is currently hurting and giving everything a vitamin D deficiency. Mm-hmm. Now, if you know anything about energy and metabolistic energy, without sunlight, if something is never raised in sunlight, it has no vitamin D, which means it has no nutrient. That's why we don't hunt down cave animals, because they don't have vitamin D. So you would get absolutely nothing out of them because they've lived in caves their whole fucking life. Right. They have no melanin. They have no vitamin D conversion. So they have no nutrient for a predator. That's why cave animals usually get unchecked. And they also develop toxins over time. Speaking of cave animals, the Ashkenazi, yeah, we know what they are.
Right.
Now they call themselves transhumanists, but they don't change their name much, and they like to move letters around, you know what I mean? And create new words out of their titles and names that they've had because it's part of their religion. They get a kick out of it, It tickles them almost as much as harming kids does. We should absolutely have our Second Amendment rights because the people in power have Boeing-created lasers, Raytheon-created lasers. Chrystia Freeland's got her Nightscope company, which makes automatic security robots, which are the next dangerous thing. And anyone that's watched Doctor Who can look up the Nightscope company, and you'll be horrified by how much they look like actual Daleks from Doctor Who. Not only that, they are identical to Doctor Who Season 13 remake of the Daleks, which was a individual movie. But I think they used these actual robots for that movie. All predictive programming. That was right before Doctor Who went all like crazy woke and everybody started hating it, who's loved it all their life, like me. So that's where we're at with this. But I pulled up the top 10 whistleblowers in American history. And the first ones were within 1 year of the founding of the nation.
Imagine that shit.
I know, right? It's like right out the gate, we were just doomed to fail. So the first whistleblowers were two guys. They were military. It was 1777. Samuel Shaw and Richard Marvin, they were part of a small group who witnessed their commanding officer torturing British prisoners of war, and they reported their leader. They lost their commission. They ended up in jail while they waited for trial, and they had to petition Congress for help, something none of us could do now. Explaining that they had been arrested for doing what they believed to be their duty. Appalled, the Continental Congress then enacted in 1778. So within 2 years, we had a whistleblower prevention program, and it was by unanimous consent. They authorized money to defend the two men and ordered that Hopkins be fired, and Shaw and Marvin won the lawsuit. And apparently there were no famous whistleblowers between 1777 and 1968.
Mm-hmm.
At least according to this website. So Ernest Fitzgerald, the godfather of the defense movement, longtime government employee and government whistleblower. In 1968, he reported $2.3 billion cost overrun involving the Lockheed C-5 transport aircraft. His testimony before Congress in 1968 and 69 about the problems in defense contracting resulted in the renegotiation of the Air Force's contract with Lockheed and saved the government $273 million. Now, this is 1960s money, too, so that's like $1 billion today.
Right.
Fitzgerald was also instrumental in the passage of the law, which later led to the landmark Whistleblower Protection Act of 1989. So we've got two whistleblower protections on the books, and we're still not protecting whistleblowers. A U.S. federal law that protects federal whistleblowers who work for the government and report agency misconduct. Something that's never been given to Chelsea Manning, Julian Assange, Edward Snowden. Well, not Julian Assange. He was an Australian reporter. Gary Webb worked for the U.S. government. You know, you just go down the list. It's insane. All right, 1969, we got Rod Ridenour. He revealed the My Lai massacre, which was John McCain. He heard about the American infantry that massacred the group of Vietnamese citizens. He wrote President Nixon, the defense secretary, and members of Congress. On March 16, 1968, a company of the 23rd Infantry Division killed about 175 to 400 Vietnamese civilians. Now, the fact that the number ratio is that big shows how bad the reporting was. If you can't figure it out, if you killed almost 200 or 400 people, yeah, that's really weird. Mm-hmm. The letter sparked an Army investigation that led to indictments, public disclosures, and the leader's conviction. However, John McCain never had a single negative thing happen to him, even though he ordered the My Lai massacre. Frank Serpico blew the whistle on police corruption in New York City in the 60s and 70s. His testimony in 71 was the centerpiece of hearings that sparked the biggest shakeup in the history of the New York City Police Department. The first New York City police officer to testify about widespread corruption presented evidence about the taking of bribes, estimated to be in the millions of dollars, by some of the members of Gotham's law enforcement community. After reports to City Hall were ignored, Serpico and other police officers, David Dirk, went to the New York Times, where a front-page story led to the creation of the Knapp Commission to investigate police corruption. He retired from the force on a medical disability in 1972.
Shit, dude. All right, damn.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts, but it looks like there was an extremely high concentration of whistleblowers in the 70s. Then there was only one famous one in the 80s, a few in the 90s, and the 2000s, it really kicks up. There's like almost one a year in the 2000s, going up to Chelsea Manning and Edward Snowden. And then we know people like Seth Rich, who was, assassinated for leaking the DNC servers to Julian Assange. We know that one guy who is doing 40 years for helping Seth Rich to get the data out, even though he should be under whistleblower protections. So this is where we're at. There's no such protection for a whistleblower. If you're going to do it, be brave about it, be slick about it, and be smooth about it. Like if you're going to out an organization, send copies to every news organization so they don't have a choice. Because if a few of them run it and a few of them don't, it's obvious who's covering for the deep state.
I don't even think that personally, if I was doing that, I don't think that I would put it this way. I don't know if you know who Tom Althouse is or not, but he is the man, and actually the man that wrote the script for The Matrix. So he is the man that he is the sight unseen script writer for The Matrix. Literally, the Matrix. Everybody loves The Matrix. And what they did is they took his story and literally rewrote it. That script, the script for The Matrix, never was even supposed to be The Matrix. It was supposed to be, the name of the movie was called The Immortals. Okay? I mean, I've interviewed Tom multiple times here. I love Tom, and I want nothing bad to happen to him. But the moment that he started blowing the whistle on satanic Hollywood and literally everything, dude, two of his kids died. They killed 2 of his children. I shit you not. They planted.
There was a guy named Tyrone Hayes. He blew the whistle on Syngenta.
One more time.
So I don't know if you've heard of Tyrone Hayes. He blew the whistle on Syngenta, which has been absorbed into Monsanto. The Syngenta company put a bomb on his car, threatened his family's lives, put a bomb in his house. He actually had to go in front of Congress and prove that they had done this. And at this time, Syngenta basically owned the Berkeley campus. And you know why they did this? Is because he proved in a lab that atrazine causes physical sexual changes in laboratory reptiles. So any human being with a reptilian xenotype, such as myself, is going to suffer gender dysphoria if they eat any baby carrots or corn that has had atrazine in it. And it just so happens Gerber Baby Foods is 100% atrazine presentation. So those Gerber Baby Foods were designed to literally sterilize an entire generation. Didn't you ever think it was weird that a baby food company had a grow-up life plan that said if your child survives to 18, they'll get a $50 savings bond if you feed them nothing but Gerber baby food?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that a weird thing?
I remember this, bro. Yes. I remember this. Holy shit, dude. I remember. They actually gave you a card.
Yep.
A little card. If I remember right, yeah, it was a little fucking card that you kept. And it was put out by Gerber. I do remember this. Holy shit.
Yep,
man.
and you would get credit on your card every time you bought Gerber Baby Foods. So
wow.
As long as you fed your child Gerber Baby Foods and they lived to 18, they would get a $50.
You said Gerby.
Gerber.
Oh, shit. Man, oh, man. You know what? I want to share something while we're talking about this. I've got the audio shared, so you should be able to hear what I'm about to play. This is... I want to share a trailer with everybody, and this is a preview, okay? For all of you that are into the whistleblowing community, want to know truly, if you are in the whistleblowing community and you want to know what the hell's going on, then please pay attention to what you're about to watch, okay? Because this man, David CROWLEY, is not even alive, okay? They pretty much, they took him out, all right? My MK kid, everybody knows, you've heard me talk about him prior. His name is Max Spears. They took him out prior to Mr. CROWLEY, and the two of them were working on the trailer that I'm about to show you. I want to share this with you because I think it's highly, highly important to share this with you. I'm just saying. So David CROWLEY, again, this fellow, the man that made this trailer, again, took out his wife, his kids, the dog, blew his brains out, not once, but twice. Curious, how do you shoot yourself in the back of the head twice? Right?
I'd say ask Gary Webb.
Ask Gary Webb. Hang tight, you guys. Just pay attention. Pay attention.
dreamt about how things were. When I woke up here.
Alrighty, well, I think that was pretty damn clear. What do you think there, Anon? You
Yeah,
seen
it's up
that?
there. I mean, I'm used to the dystopian scenes. You know, I actually go for movies like that because I think there's a lot of truth in that. It kind of reminded me of that movie Blackout Invasion Earth, or more the music video that Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park did for Blackout Invasion Earth. Anybody wants to watch that? It's called Fine by Mike Shinoda of Linkin Park, and it's a great video even without watching the movie. But if you do want to watch a great movie, Blackout Invasion Earth, it's a great insight into how an extraterrestrial invading force would think and some of the mental abilities they would have. Also, you know, it's an interesting study in what may be our progenesis, like the creatures that brought us, you know, to existence, you know, that chimerized us hundreds of thousands of years ago, if not millions of years ago. It's a very interesting insight. And one of the best alien invasion movies I've ever seen in my life. But yeah, no, Gray State, you know, that movie, when it was coming out, you know, I can't say I was surprised when they assassinated him and his whole family, but how overt they were about it, like it was intended to send a chilling effect for sure. Because, you know, at the same time, they were protecting people like Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So at this point, it's kind of a gauge. Like, you can tell who's telling the truth by who they kill. And it's a really sad thing that that's our, you know, what words am I looking for? That's our gauge to base it on. But, you know, you pretty much know at that point, just like with Seth Rich, just like with this guy, John Barnett, you know he was telling the truth because they made it clear they didn't want him to talk anymore. He had, I think, 3 days of 7-hour testimonies set up, and he only got through one. And then they took him the hell out. Like, literally, between interviews. He was on his way home that night to sleep. He was going to go back the next day. So I'm pretty sure they didn't, you know,
Right.
John Barnett didn't kill himself, just like Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
I don't believe so, bro. You know, again, this
Transhumanists don't commit suicide. They're in it for immortality.
You know, being a conspiracy researcher that we are here, I can't even say the word conspiracy theorist anymore, because it's like there's so much shit coming out and has been out. You gotta dig on it, man, and just by digging on it and sharing it, it's like just by sharing it, everybody up in the broadcast tonight that's scrolling by, everybody here, as well as probably in the listening audience, has acquired that target on your back for simply sharing. Just question it. Just question it. The moment you question it is like you get that target on your back and you're now stuck in that conspiratorial camp. That's complete bullshit. But it's true. What I'm telling you is true. It's wrong. I cannot even begin to say how wrong that is. That's like I said, whenever I went to Congressman Kat's fucking feed, and I'm like, she's talking about the CCP and all this. Man, look, we're literally watching the problem. I think Socrates said it the best. If you really, really, really want these people to listen to you, you see them doing live streams on Facebook. Blah, 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 blah. Fire away, man. Start dropping fucking truth bombs on their feed. You know, make people think. You got to make these people think, because those people that are waking up to this is, again, Amy Jo says, I love her. She's a talking head. Do you tell me, Amy, listen to me. Tell me what she has done, and I'll wait. Only thing I run my mouth. You hear NASAnon running his mouth. Running your mouth at some point in time. She is in a very ranked high spot, right? She absolutely has the ability to do something. Why ain't they doing anything? You see what I'm saying? Larry Hawkins, shout out to him. He's in the chat. He's watching this bullshit, right? He's like sending popcorn, and he's like, so shout out to you, Larry. using his words, if you know about the problem and you fucking do nothing about the problem, that makes you part of the problem. Right or wrong?
Yeah. Apathy is consent. Absolutely. Every time.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. He says it best, and that is, there's going to come a time when we have got to, as a spiritual being, as a being of at all, we're going to have to come together and say enough is enough. Now, there are those military people that are like, to hell with spiritual warfare. I want to go for the jugular vein. And I know those people. I know some of those people, bro. They have had enough. And when telling the truth down here, right? And telling the truth, get your ass killed. That's obviously...
Well, at that point, you have to really look at it on a larger scale. Like the weirdos at NASA used to say to me, you have to see the big picture. And once I did, I was horrified. I think you have to go through that horrifying process in order to really feel it for the first time. Because until it affects you, you're not going to feel it. You're really not. So it's kind of pointless to try. You know what I mean? So you have that going against you. And that's always going to be against you. That's the illusion. People think if they just hunker down and they act nice and they pretend to be nice, that everything's going to be nice, but that's not the way it is. Nazi pedophiles don't change their habits ever. Okay, they just don't. It's how they are. It's who they are. It's what they are. They are Nazis. They are pedophiles. They are transhumanists. It's all interchangeable. Okay, and the fact, it's easy to prove. The fact that they fund Nazis, that they funded Nazi biolabs, that they had no problem funding Nazi biolabs, and it's the last thing that they want to talk about, even though Putin released the ugly and dirty about Nazi biolabs over a month ago. Okay? He exposed them.
Can we touch...
And yet, somehow, it's just not a big deal.
Can we touch...
And I don't personally get that, but,
Can we touch on
somehow
those...
it's not a big deal. So, I mean, that's just where we are with it right now. And, I don't really know if there's anything we can do about it.
All right, let's touch on this.
We can, say no more. Actually, that's not exactly true either. One thing we can do about it, actually, is make sure that when... or no, fuck that. If you want to really know who's running this show, you just look up transhumanist political party members. Okay, like if you were to look up Elon Musk Transhumanist Political Party, it would come up with him as a registered transhumanist, which means he belongs to the World Economic Forum. No questions, no buts, no confusions. It just is. Okay, that's just the way it is. And you don't have to believe me. Go look for yourself. I understand how absolutely dangerous and toxic hero worship is because I've had it myself in the past. And, we all have to come to terms with that in our own time, but that's just how simple it is. There's no getting around it. And so if you really want to take initiative for the people that can't defend themselves, namely all the children that are being trafficked, which right now is equivalent to, I think they've recorded over 40,000 border children, however many children were trafficked in the process of killing the children in Gaza, and however many children have been taken into Ukrainian biolabs.
That is a good damn statement right there.
Thank you.
Do you see that?
So you really have to look at it on the big picture, because remember, these people think of you as a statistic. If you look up transhumanist biolabs, you'll find them all there. There's no way around it. No confusion, no questions. If you want to really investigate their agenda, just look up the Transhumanist Party values page. It's all there, and I'm not even shitting you. Like, you can't make this shit up. You can't pretend it's not real. You can try, but you're just wasting your time at the end of the day. because these people, they don't have a conscience. They don't think like you or I do at all, because they're on a different harmonic frequency. They have their own blood type. They're their own, specific species, the Ashkenazim, and they're bloodthirsty monsters at the end of the day. If they weren't, they wouldn't run blood drinking clinics, which your taxpayer money also goes to pay for. The only one of which they've shut down is Youngbloods, which involved direct transfusions from teenagers to the elderly. Okay? If that's not vampirism and necromancy, I can't tell you what is. All right? And that's just the surface. If you really need a reason, look at your lost loved ones. Whether they were taken from diabetes from the sugar industry, that was a Nazi invention of control. Whether they were taken by drugs and heroin and inner city crime, that is an operation of creating ghettos, something the Nazis do very well. Ultimately, you can point all your anger at the transhumanist political party and its head, the impossibly cartoonish villain name, Zoltan Istvan. He is the head of the transhumanist political party in the United States, has been since 2014. He wanted Trump in 2015. He wanted Biden in 2019. He got what he wanted. And let me ask you a question. How many people, while running for president, recommend another candidate and drop out? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And that's what Zoltan Istvan did in 2015 with Trump, saying he would be good for transhumanist sciences. That's what he did in Iowa for Biden in 2019. That is not the head of the, American Hydra. People like Trump, Biden, those are the heads or the puppets of the Hydra in America. You cut them off, they grow back, and they grow back stronger. Now, you cut out the heart of the Hydra, which is someone like Zoltan Istvan, they will think twice. Okay? Zoltan Istvan is the orchestrator for people like Epstein. He would be Bill Gates' boss. He would be David Keith's boss. He is the president's boss. Okay? He is the one running things on our continent. You take him out, and he lives in Nancy Pelosi's district in California, by the way, then, yeah, that will majorly put them back. I want to reference a great show called Falling Skies by Steven Spielberg. Now, despite Spielberg's questionable background, the show is absolutely profound. And they call the master infiltrators, the fish heads, they call them Ishveni. And that name is so close to Ashkenazi, it's impossible to ignore. The biomodifications that happen in that show are so in line with transhumanism, namely mutating other creatures to absorb their genetic makeup and extend your own life, which is what the Ishveni do. They make slaves of races. They harness entire races, entire planets. And they're disgusting. And they don't create technology. They steal it from everyone else. Who else does that? Okay? Because Ashkenazi aren't that smart. I mean, we're smart. We're very smart, but not in mass. We're much better at scaring people, freaking them out, and learning how to make other people dumber, most specifically with fear reactions. Fear makes you stupid anytime you're experiencing it. And if you've experienced true fear, you know it makes you react in dumb ways. That's why the dumb bitch in the movie always grabs the flashlight or the banana instead of the fucking AK-47.
Right. Or the guy chasing after the dumb bitch with the AK-47 falls in a hole and breaks his leg.
Yeah, falls in his own trap.
You know what? There's some really good comments in the chat tonight about. I wanted to point out this. This was by Mr. Donnie Lothridge. Says right here, as we talk about the change that is coming with an open mind, we are unable to stop or change it. So why single a person out and then end up being hurt, or even, let me add to that, Donnie, end up becoming a statistic? That's a really good.
I'm not saying do it, but I'm saying if your reason is good enough and you're willing to step up to the cause, because I guarantee, just like that line of logic, there's nothing we can do. That's self-defeating. If we do nothing, we will die. And we will suffer worse than death, because we will be used and constantly reincarnated into chimeras. We will be used to create new humanoids like the 5 chimeras they have created. A fate worse than death. Okay, your women will be used as breeding tools, as some of the rare blood types are already being used. This is not a secret. Transhumanism kidnaps rare blood type women to have them endlessly breed for their entire lives so they can use their children for their powerful stem cells. This is the world we already live in. This is not the change that is coming. This is what is already here. So you can stand or you can cower, die on your feet, or live on your motherfucking knees, man. Okay, but apathy is consent. If you have no problem with the hundreds of thousands, almost 1 million children that never reappear every year, that's on you. Okay?
Ouch.
But leave the fighting to the people that are brave, because if they have a reason, if they've already being killed by this system that's been orchestrated over not hundreds of years, but thousands of years in a very well-crafted, articulate plan, okay, then that's on you. But if you want to change things, you can manifest that. But no, if you're not in the fight for real, then just get out now until you're mad enough to actually be a part of it. Because this is not for the squeamish. This is not for the weak-minded. It's not for the light-hearted. You know, people are dying every fucking second. Right now, the children of Gaza are being mutilated and organ trafficked. Okay? They are being massacred in toto. Okay? And that's coming to this country. So if you want to prevent it, or you want to stand up and do what you want to do, but if you live long enough and someone looks at you and says, what did you do when all this was going down? What are you going to say? You're probably going to lie and say that you fought. And then what are you going to be?
Damn. I wish I could do the mic drop emoji right about now.
Okay.
I got it.
Barbara Borges' point. Actually, I don't know about any individual states. I know it's been on the ballot a couple times. There's that infamous clip of Trump saying he was going to stop chemtrailing. But the president of Mexico has actually banned sun dimming systems. And the Biden administration is doing a solar radiation management system. So they are currently committing acts of war and violation of treaty against the nation of Mexico. Every day they're sun dimming and doing stratospheric aerosol injection. So even if it's not illegal in states, it's certainly illegal to some of our neighbors. I theorize this is why Mexico backed out of the North American Union Act, which formerly they were a part of, signed into law by Bush Jr. in 2001, part of the 7 continents, or 7 keys to 7 gates system, the 7 unions across the planet. We have the European Union, we have the United Kingdom, we have the Russian Federation, which is now basically falling to bricks. And, the WF's whole system is already falling apart. So, I mean, I would just advise getting on the system now. If you want to know, like, really easiest way to prove it, that, they're chemtrailing, that they're poisoning people, that people have a systemic vitamin D deficiency now, then, all you got to do is expose the Harvard Global Sun Dimming Project, and then point that it never stopped, it hasn't changed, it's just changed names, solar radio titles. Contracts never get canceled, they just keep on. That's why MK Ultra never ended. It didn't have a program date in. Because they have to fund it if they're going to do it. And if they're not funding,
do you hear what they're doing to his audio? Can you see this? You're fading in and out, in and out. Miss Norma asks, who are actually?
Let me see if my mic defaulted again.
Who's actually behind the nefarious these nefarious projects? Because somebody is obviously, like Norma said, somebody is doing these jobs, right? She's like, who's working the jobs? I personally think now you're muted. I personally think that these people are falling victim to the job and not even realizing the catastrophicity of the job itself. Does this make sense?
No, I don't exactly agree. Now, I will say in my case that was definitely the truth. The contrast to that, I have a friend, lifelong friend, known her since she was about 6. Our families grew up together. So as an adult, she became an IT consultant, and she went to work for the Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security. And I tried to warn her. I was like, when it all comes down and they have to pitch you against us, just make sure you're on the right side of things. And that was like the last conversation we had. So some people choose their fates. They're still choosing the American dream because they don't want to wake up. But those who refuse to wake now are destined to die in their sleep. There's no going back from here. The atrocities are too obvious. We're already replaying World War II. And if you remember, in the wake of World War II, that's when they killed hundreds of thousands of people in this country. They knocked out 2 Black Wall Streets. They did the Tuskegee experiments. They started MK Ultra. So do you think they're not going to do the same thing all over again? They run the same tactics over and over and over again. They don't stop repeating their habits.
Mike Pyle, the link that you dropped right here, bro, it to me, it says this content is unavailable, or I would share what you just dropped.
As for who's doing these jobs, there's a reason they're bringing all these immigrants into this country. A lot of them are coming in as sex traffickers, and they're getting jobs in the country working as sex traffickers. Mm-hmm. The border is disgustingly close to Alcor Life Extension Systems, ALCOR. They do cryogenic testing for the elite, and in order to do cryogenic testing, they have to have bodies, because you have to have bodies as soon as they die in order to vitrify them and freeze them. Otherwise, they don't come back to life right. So a lot of those people are coming over the border. Many of them are the same mercenaries trained by like G4S, which led to the Orlando nightclub shooting. Omar Mateen, he was brought to this country by G4S British security companies, which is invested in by Dick Cheney. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Cheney money is also involved in this process of bringing these mercenaries and sections behind all of this. Those are the big ones giving orders. But I seriously doubt anybody's going to ever get a chance to get up close and personal with Gates or a Rothschild. However, Zoltan Isfan has a false illusion of safety. He has cyborg implemented himself to live up to 160 years. He has heart implants, brain chips. He has kidney implants to process his impurities faster. And as from his own testimony and his doctors, he's going to live 160 years. So you're only going to have a window, because if you let it go on natural time, these fuckers will all outlive you. Now, a lot of this stuff is still in its early experimentation, but if it's this effective now, what happens when they can make the right people that they want live 200 years? Then you have almost immortality promised to anybody that works for you, which is the sale of the transhumanist movement or the necromantic movement. Eternal life, but you have to be willing to sacrifice other lives to extend it. That's why we have blood drinking clinics. These arts really work, but they drive you berserk over time. You drink enough human blood, you're going to develop prions, and you're going to go insane.
Right. I guess. I mean, I don't know. What you're saying to me is not new news. However, I can't, like, here's the kicker. I can't share what Mike shared because I want to, but I can't. It's Mike says, Mike Pyle, right? My ground pounder meaning tractor trailer driver. Shout out to you, bro. He says every politician knows exactly what's going on, right? And that they know about this shit, and not one of them is being held accountable. Not one of them. That's pretty much what he's saying.
This is what else we can do, okay? If you want to hold people accountable, you do what I said earlier. You look up transhumanist political party, and then the political candidates running in your area. Like, for example, there are 2 transhumanist politicians in Florida that openly advertise. One is a governor, or not the governor. One is a mayor, and one is a city councilman or councilwoman, and they openly advertise. Now, the thing is, transhumanism can't exist without human child trafficking and trafficking of stem cells. So when you have these people running in your area, you look them up to see if they're transhumanist, because if they're transhumanist, they're going to be connected to people like Epstein and sex trafficking. Then you go and you actually call them out in public. The more people calling out transhumanist politicians in public, the more people are going to become aware there actually is a transhumanist political party using our taxpayer money to do these nefarious things. Not for everyone, just for themselves. If they were trying to extend everyone's life, We could have a voluntary system. A cancer victim like me could step up and say, hey, I don't have much time left. Why don't you use me for experimentation? And those of us on our way out could make that sacrifice. We could make that choice rather than being tricked into a system like what Canada has, where they use the healthcare to make people wait as long as they can if they don't have enough money, or they're not financially stable enough or important enough, and then they opt to let them kill themselves. Well, what do you think they do after they let these people kill themselves? They're going to use them for transhumanist experiments. What do you think they did with the 16,000 people that were murdered and burned to death in the Maidan coup from 2014 to 2015 with those 46 transhumanist biolabs under Ukraine? They took those parts to the transhumanist labs. I bet they're still taking bodies down to the transhumanist labs we don't know about in Ukraine. So that's where we're at. You know, there's really nothing to lose because it's only a matter of time before you're the motherfucker getting pulled into the black van because your genetics match the person like Dick Cheney who needs a replacement heart valve.
Right.
Okay. You think you get 8 replacement hearts in 10 years by good luck? Please.
Wow.
Yes, it's called CROWLEY, which is prion disease, or better known as Creutzfeldt's, Kroisveldt syndrome. Mad cannibal disease would be the most common when deer and it is communicable from animal to animal too. That's really important. Prions can shed, and they do shed.
Did you see this
shit? They come off like a mold.
Chuck McClellan says that the Surgeon General in Florida, down where you're located, stopped the jab due to the side effects of it. If that is true, I am very, very impressed with that.
No, he did. In fact, Brevard County, where I am, Brevard, they passed a law. They were trying to pass a law. The Republicans were trying to label the mRNA nanotech shots as bioweapons, but they weren't able to pass it because then that would include any human that has it in them as a bioweapon. This area is rich with defense contractors, and so they were trying to create a system so that their defense contractors no longer had to get mandatory vaccinations. I know people down here, like my one buddy was the head cook for Collins Aerospace, making $150,000 a year. They told him he needed to take a vaccine to keep his job. He quit his job. It was the smartest thing he could have done. He would have died. That shot would have killed him.
This sweetheart right here from the West Coast, Miss Yvonne, she did the same shit after a long career in not only the military, but she continued her career outside in normal citizenship, and that was being a registered nurse. She refused the shot. She too lost her job. She too probably can't get another job over there no matter where she's at. She says right here, when the people stop or start following the money, that is when they're going to understand what the hell is going on. And I completely agree with that. When you follow
Don't just follow the money though. Follow the organizational structure. That's how I learned about Zoltan. When I realized there was a transhumanist political party, I wanted to know who its leaders were. And when I found out who its leaders were, I'm like, who are these motherfuckers? They can't be real. Zoltan? No one has that name. But no, he's a Ukrainian national. So he is an Azov Nazi commissioned to our country in 2014, the year of the Maidan coup, by the way, to start the transhumanist political party. Right. None of this is coincidence. And for those of you still worshiping Trump, if you still think he's a good guy, he didn't stop funding the biolabs. They didn't just pop up in 2020 when Joe Biden popped his ass in, or 2021 when Joe Biden got in office. They were operating from 2014 on. That's what they needed all the bodies for. That was the reason for the genocide and the ethnic cleansing, because they needed bodies for the transhumanist biolab experiments, many of which included experimenting with corona SARS viruses to make them more deadly. Now, I love George Overton's observations. He's absolutely right. It's always been this way. Ever since these motherfuckers showed up in history for the first time and destroyed the Hattusha homeland, the fathers of the Hittites, and became the official court magi for Ramses III. You know, these are the people that are in the Bible that were turning their staffs into snakes, using tricks to enthrall the pharaohs, while Moses, and telling basically the pharaoh to kill his own son. Moses. And so this is the kind of duality it had. Now, that's an allegory for how they tricked Ramses III into destroying Hattusha when they had a peace treaty on, even though Ramses III begged the Hattusha for the peace treaty. And why? Because the Hattusha were nice to them and took them in. Thank you, sir.
I got listen. Well, I want to ask you because Amy Jo just dropped something that's pretty interesting as well. She wants to know what the hell happened to the Nuremberg Code. What the hell? What happened to this?
Okay, so here's what happened. The Nuremberg trials, most of the people that should have died didn't, and most of the people that shouldn't have died did. They killed everyone following orders, including the media. Remember that? They hung the fucking media for spreading the propaganda.
I remember
but we
this.
didn't do it in this country. In this country, we brought the Nazis here, and they used Cold War fear as a justification. But the fact is, a lot of those people were American ops to begin with, just like a lot of the people running the transhumanist biolabs were American scientists who they had to evacuate. And yes, Trump was Mr. Warp Speed. Yeah, it's insane because they keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they get offended when people notice the pattern. And they say it's anti-Semitic. Well, they don't have a fucking drop of Luhansk blood in them. They're just fucking Khazarian Mongols. Because the Ashkenazi are not Semitic at all. They're Khazars.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, what was
this one here? Miss Morgan drops, and what she just said right here is what got me as well. Whenever he came over to Conneaut, Ohio, and I'm sorry, down at Whirlpool, I don't remember where the hell is that, and he started talking about Operation Warp Speed, and all that shit. I agree with Morgan when she says right here. I was surprised to include in she that's when she woke up to the Trump thing. Whenever he started promoting the vaccine, I completely agree, and I was blown away. I truly was. Because you know what, everybody that had followed this broadcast prior to the prior to that knows if anything to do with President Trump. I was all about it. I mean, I would restream all of his shit. I love the dude, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I literally was shocked whenever I seen what Morgan just said, promoting it, and I can't. I seriously, man, that blew me away, dude.
I was watching closely the whole time. So the media was covering and advertising for the Harvard Global Sun Dimming Project all through 2018, trying to get silent consent, and they got it because no one raised a ruckus. Nobody showed the science. Meanwhile, I was bitching like a crazy man the whole time. If you go back, there are newspaper articles about Trump meeting with Gates in December 2017 to discuss diseases, vaccines, pandemics, and quote-unquote other things. December 2017, the same month, an article comes out says Trump administration is flirting with solar geoengineering with Bill Gates.
What?
January 9th, 2019, they launched the Harvard Global Sun Dimming Project, which was headed by David Keith, the former head of Federal HAARP, the Harmonic Active Auroral Resonance Program. If anybody tells you it stood for anything else, they're fucking lying to you, because those are harmonic lasers they use to destabilize the sky. He now heads the Harvard Geoengineering and Nanotech Department. I mean, that's an easy 1-2 right there. 1-2 punch. He dimmed the sun for a solid year, and by January 2020, everyone was so vitamin D deficient that old people were dying from common colds, and they relabeled it COVID. I mean, maybe they really did weaponize a stronger version of the virus, but not much, because within a year, we were all adapted. You know, the original strain was nasty, but, once I spat it out, I was immune. And that was after I don't know, 4 days. So I knew it wasn't anything serious, because my herd immunity goes further than most. But, no, they still locked down the entire country. Many people, including myself, lost everything we had built, from the ground up. And I watched as he locked down the entire country and then made 5G mandatory, and then said we're going to use our taxpayer money for an mRNA nanotech. So I'm like, okay, let me see this shit in action.
Right.
And I go and I look and I find this little black blood tick looking thing going through cells, going down to DNA, taking a fucking knife out of its insides, cutting a piece of DNA out, pulling a piece of DNA out of its fucking stomach, and then inserting it. And at that point, I'm like, this is bad. I mean, it reminded me of that Johnny Quest one-eyed fucking black robot. Maybe that was a part of the predictive programming because Johnny Quest was a Hasbara cartoon. Just like Gummy Bears, just like Thundercats, just like Wuzzles, just like all those things to make kids think it would be cool to be half animal.
I literally do not even know what to say to that. Do you know that? I don't know. I'm right here. Amy Jo's like, I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore.
I mean, it'll at least clear your conscience.
The truth will piss you off.
Information is power.
That's what it'll do. The absolute truth will piss you off. And I guess that's
true.
Man, I don't even know what to say. Donnie Lothridge says, this is a super cool show. Thank you, Matt. Your guest is over my head. Bro, let me tell you what. I do you're not he's not over your head. Just hang, just hang with us and you'll be all right. This fella here I do believe hang on. I think this fella here is going to be a really, really good candidate for a guest. Now, I think that he already dropped in the broadcast chat that he was now he's a driver like myself and Mike Pyle and Socrates. So we've seen a lot of shit, right? I do believe that Donnie has already said in the chat that he is a subject of implants. Don't shoot me if I didn't, or if you didn't say that already. I'm quite sure that you did.
I haven't really said it in public, but I have alluded to the fact that a lot of times as a kid, I would have a very bright light in my window about 3 out of 7 nights a week and go missing for a while. I have a lot of lost time and stuff, but I'm not so sure that wasn't an aspect of my possession by shadow people for years. They were just hijacking my body because I've seen other people in the sleepwalking state when possessed by shadow people. And, that could have been happening to me the whole time while my brain's being reprogrammed by my own personal shadow parasite, because that's what they do. Thank you, Chuck. I really appreciate it. Lisa and Donnie, I don't think it's really over your head. You just have to kind of expand your view and think about it objectively. They think of people as cockroaches. That's actually how the IDF trains our police to view the citizens. This was outed years ago. So if you think from that perspective, think you've got a house full of cockroaches, that's how they think of the earth. They use the term goyim for that reason. If you look up the transhumanist U.S. party values page, everything is there in bullet points and just a little critical thinking. Just ask yourself, how are they going to get there? What would they have to do to achieve these goals? And nightmares will be your world, because this world is nightmares, and it's ruled by night terrors. Noctmare literally means nocturnal pressure, an entity that lies on you at night and steals your energy and slowly eats your soul. The Jinn, the shadow people, the hat men, the skinwalkers, the Wetiko, the Wendigo. It's all one entity, all connected by a hive mind. And I'm actually pretty sure at this point that Archons aren't anything but fucking giant multidimensional water bears. We shouldn't be scared of a fucking tardigrade. Fuck them. I don't care how long they can survive. I don't care how long they can live. What they're doing to people is not justified.
No.
Okay? I didn't ask for it. I didn't deserve it. None of you asked for it. None of you deserve it. And if that rage doesn't serve you, then you need to find a way to make it serve you. We all have a monster inside, whether you acknowledge it or not. The question is, are you going to have that monster, save the world or not? Or are you just going to let it eat you from the inside while you pretend it doesn't exist? They gave us the sociopathy. They forced it on us. We might as well make them choke on it. because we didn't ask for that either.
Miss Barbara, I love her. She says they wouldn't like my house. It reeks of sage.
Yeah, they like to open windows. That's why actually houses built with what's it called? The metal frames at the door, the thresholds, because that is designed to keep what is ever outside outside and whatever is inside inside. However, I have seen it firsthand where these creatures can basically hide in antiques or furniture or in other people. And then when those people are in your house, they can either drop a spawn or they can just dissociate from the person itself and become an aspect of your house and take over your entire family. That's how these things work. And I've seen the remote connections. I've seen how it spreads like a suicide disease from person to person to person. You know, it's up to you. If you don't have the strength, you will always be a victim to something else. If you want to see some true semblance of freedom in your own lifetime or for the kids that come next, especially if they're yours, then you don't have much time. How much time do you have before you catch a spike on shared contact, before you hook up with the wrong person and you're dying of a fucking blood clot? How much time do you really have? How much time do we have before these blood clots start taking hold of the corpses they're growing in? Because the nanotech does not stop growing. No one has been able to record the nanotech not growing outside of putting inside a fucking formaldehyde jar. How do we negotiate that? There's no fucking diplomacy there.
Wow.
You can't fucking reason with a dead body full of fucking nanotech. And maybe I'm being crazy, but the last prophecy of Nostradamus is that the dead will walk as men, and he got everything else right.
Here comes a comment by Miss Jane Corbett. Says hydroxychloroquine. But the thing is, hydroxychloroquine, Miss Jane, it's not going to work. It's not going to work if the body's dead. It doesn't matter at that point. See here, this is
your body has to be able to push your bloodstream. If your blood clotted out, then there's nothing.
This is why. Hang on. This is why I totally believe that is why they knocked down the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, truly, I believe this. Now, just hear me out. Listen to where I'm going with this. I say the Georgia Guidestones literally said, let's keep harmonious balance with humanity and nature to 500 million people. Okay, 500 million. That is exactly what it says. 500 million. Now, if you look at the vac stats at all of the people that got that shit, it literally will tell you there is over 80% of the world now, whether it be right or whether it be wrong, I'm just telling you, over 80% of the people on the planet that took it. Now, we're pushing close to 7.5, 7.8 billion with a B, billion people on the planet. So if 80 some billion people took it, I think they pretty much got their they see this coming. Again, they see this coming. So maybe after the shit's over with, have they reached their 500 million? Is that why they didn't need the Georgia Guidestones anymore?
I think that was also a humiliation ritual and a revelation of the method. I think I told you before on this podcast, I took that video and I slow-moed it frame by frame by frame. And in one frame, you can see a lightning bolt jumping from the light to the stone and smashing it to dust. Now, this was my biggest question and why I slowed it down, because if it had actually been struck by lightning, okay, that light would have been blown the fuck out by the EMP created.
Sure.
The light would have been blasted.
Yes, sir.
That was a direct energy weapon sitting right next to it. And they destroyed the one that said keep it in balance at 500 million because they had achieved their goal. Revelation of the method and a humiliation ritual on top of it. That's how their magic works. And nobody ever noticed what I noticed, and I don't know why.
Bullshit. Don't throw it. No. Don't just chalk everybody, because yeah, man. I seen this. I noticed this. But
yeah, and a funny thing, I used to think 16% of the world's population was Rh negative, but it's actually 6%. Now, if you apply that number to the 8 billion people on planet Earth and account for a little bit of growth to about 8.5 billion, you have your 500,000. because those are the most adaptive bloodlines, the Rh negatives that have copper and iron in their blood because their energy flows more efficiently with the copper. That also excludes their entire bloodline and preserves their bloodline because they're Rh negatives as well, specifically AB negative. And if you look it up, there's a disproportionate amount of people in power in the United States who are AB negative, even though it represents 0.6% of the global population.
Oh man, dude. So my question to you, I published a meme a while back, and it's this. Because again, I love my military, dude. I come from a military family myself. I'm too flat-footed. I've got major back problems, and there's just no way in hell I could have ever did it. Besides that, I think my father ousted me back in the day, and told the and the recruiter and me at the time didn't really get along. So nevertheless, I was not military material. With that being said, here's the thing. This broadcast is followed by a shit ton of military, and I love them, and I know they know that. When all hell's gonna break loose, I believe it's whenever they truly wake up. I published a meme a while back, and it had a soldier with his face in his hands, with a body laying right next to him, and clear as day, I said, whenever enough of us wake up, so I'm talking soldiers, when enough of us wake up, the fucking show is done. And I truly, truly, with all my heart, believe that when enough of them have woken up to the fact that we are in a controlled mechanism construct of some sort, and like George Carlin. Finish my statement, bro.
So I have it. Yeah, exactly as James was saying there. And it's good to have you, James. I was about to join the Marines when I was 18, and I got my contracting job at NASA instead. And that was cool. You know, I thought that was what I was supposed to be doing.
Right.
And you know, that's fine and dandy and whatnot, but it still didn't help me at all. But the military would have been the same thing for me. I would have thought I was doing what I was supposed to do. And that's absolutely nobody's fault. That's absolutely to no one's fault, I think.
Right.
I have a tremendous amount of respect for those who serve our military, but at the same time, I think it's somewhat irresponsible to not look at what's happening in the military. The fact that their numbers are down, the fact that the advertisements they're putting out right now, the first lines are no mandatory vaccinations, while our pilots are falling out of the motherfucking sky.
I know, bro.
You know, there's nothing good about this. There's absolutely nothing redeemable about this. So you have that problem, and you know it's something we can't ignore anymore.
Yes, Morgan.
We really, really can't ignore.
Yes, Morgan. Respect the soldiers, but hey, oh my God. Yes, Morgan. You know, oh man, that right there's a hell of a comment. Respect the soldiers, but hate the ones that are sending them out to war. Again, I will say that it is not us. It is not me or anybody in this chat that declares war on another nation of people. It is the damn governing bodies that are hiding the money, hiding the blood, hiding the sacrifices, all of the shit. We can get along. Okay, we don't need these fucking people. We don't need this corruption. I mean, we don't.
I put it like this. About 15,000 years ago, Cro-Magnons, Denisovans, and Swiderians, all different humanoid species, not tribes, different species, built Göbekli Tepe and Karahan Tepe, and then intentionally buried the motherfuckers. Okay? Some of the greatest monoliths on this planet. We don't have to be the same to work together. We don't have to get along or look the same. to work together.
No.
Okay, we don't.
No.
In fact, our diversity is our strength. Mulatto children are some of those beautiful on the planet. You know, I myself, I am genetically unattracted to certain types of, you know, races of women. And that's because my genes and theirs will not mix well, will be toxic combinations. But that's the danger of hypersexualization. Now it's at a point where even I, for a while, I looked at everyone as a sexual conquest. I looked at everybody like they were there for me, like they were created for me, because that's what I was told. I was told I was there to rule people. You know, you can't do that to a kid. You're fucking up. Like, why would you do that to a fucking child? And so that's kind of where it is, you know. You have to, while you take the good with the bad, you have to look at everything for what it is and the truth of it. You can't be scared of facts. You can't be one of those weak-kneed people anymore, even if you've been that way in the past. And I'm not being accusatory. I've been weak-kneed and cowardly in the past. I was so scared of what I could do that I hid inside of drugs for the longest time just to turn my abilities off because I was so fucking scared of them. So I don't want to put guilt on you. I don't want to make you feel bad. There's no reason for that. But at the same time, at some point, something's got to give. And it's going to be you. You're either going to give one way or you're going to give another. You might not want to give anything at all.
I guess.
But that's not that's not going to be your choice.
Look at what.
You know, so are you going to do it while you still have some semblance of choice, or are you going to wait till then?
Right there. Bro, right there. Look at this comment coming up, right? You can't, because again, you can't deny this.
Chuck's exactly right.
Thank you,
the Nazis,
soldier. That's exactly right.
Absolutely. Love it, dude. Fucking love it. So the Nazis were all about ancient technology and ancient sites. That's why, you know, fucking sacred things that belong to the country of Iraq are sitting in Ghislaine Maxwell's viewing room. You know, nothing's changed on that level. Not a goddamn thing. It's more obvious now. And that's what they don't want. They don't want it so obvious that you can see it for yourself. Because once you can see it for yourself, it's game over, dude. They have no recourse because they have no way to hide. They have to tell half the truth. But when they have to tell the whole truth, they lose all their power. Now, it sounds weird and metaphysical, but remember, they're running a weird metaphysical cult. So it's not that weird, is it?
I always say that if you really, really, really want the truth, start reading some occult books. I'm just being honest, dude. My eyes did not really come open until I started reading some occult books. Nah, I'm just telling you, a lot of people's gonna say, "What?" No, I'm telling you the truth. They steer you to stay in a specific book, right? And don't get outside of that cover to cover called the Holy Bible, right? They want you in that one. Yeah. But when you start digging into occult wisdom, you'll truly see, oh shit.
Okay, so what do you think a Christian thinks about when they're like thinking about all the dead kids in Gaza? They're conflicted between their religious faith and some asshole in a pulpit whose 60% chance is telling them that, you know, the people of Gaza, the children of Gaza, are just fucking slime that deserve to be wiped out. We've seen this rhetoric. You know, it's happening all over the place. It's pretty obvious. Mm-hmm. Okay, so from the perspective of the Christian who's raised on King James Bible, which is a very easy one for me because that's exactly how I was raised, you're conflicted between believing Israel is the portended, you know, nation of God, blah, 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 as said in the King James Bible, and looking at it as a murder concept. But within the King James Bible, there's all this murder and assault and taking of nations and taking of loved ones, taking of wives. It's take. And so in the Christian mind, you would be conflicted between this necromantic religion of drink of my blood, taste of me, blah, 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 and the concept of being a good human being.
It's not fucking hard. It's
process,
not hard, dude. It's not hard being
but in
a
that
good human
process,
being.
you're going to be presented with everything you've ignored up to that time, right? And so it's going to be on you at that point to face whether or not you can actually embrace that and accept it for yourself. Because in your mind, it's going to be something that you were guilty of. So you would be conflicted. You see what I mean?
I do. But listen to what I'm telling you.
From the perspective of that person.
Dude, it's not hard to be a good human being. It's not hard, like Lisa just said. Pray for everybody. Love everybody. It is the key. It is not difficult. Okay? The problem here, again, I will probably get the show blown off of the air for this one. As I've said it before. Those that don't want the turmoil, those that don't want to fight or be radical extremism, get the hell out of there and turn that entire fucking place to dust. Those that want to be extremism, we have no place for that. No place at all for that. Get the good ones, get the ones that don't want that shit out of there, and then just blow the entire Gaza Strip off into the fucking Red Sea, and then rebuild. Do you see what I'm saying, dude? We don't have it. Don't take a rocket science to figure this out. We don't need the bullshit. None of us.
No, we don't. But people want us to believe that we do. You know, we don't need to go to these fancy stores. We don't need, and I'm a hedonist too. I love my video games. I love my stuff. But at the end of the day, we really don't need all this. You know, what we need is each other. Because when the lights go out, that's all you're going to have left. And you should really think about that. So if you're spending all your time hiding from reality, then I would have to ask you why. Because there's absolutely no reason for it. You can, you can hide, or you can just get with the fucking program while there's still time, because in the meantime, there's really nothing that can be done. Like, until you actually embrace it for yourself, it's never going to apply to you in your own mind. You know what I mean? It's just going to constantly piss you off, and you're going to be pissed at yourself. That's the thing. Like, you're going to be so pissed at yourself. So I'm just offering you the choice, because I know from reference, I'm still pissed at myself to this day. So it's up to you. You're going to make the choice. You're going to have to be the one to make the choice. And ultimately, the ramifications of that choice are going to be in your head for the rest of your life. So that's how you choose. I'm just trying to give you the most informed position I can.
Bro, you are doing a damn good job at it. I'm gonna tell you that now.
I couldn't do it without you, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you.
Well, my head's on the chopping block too. I'm the one that presses the play. I'm the one that presses the play button. You're the anonymous whistleblower, and I love you for that. I mean, I do. This is your show. Again, everybody, this is your guys' show, and we got an amazing show coming up on Friday. The girls are getting some really good material and content together about the food in our grocery stores. Again, NASAnon, you threw out there that they're dimming the sun. They want to lower our IQ. They want to, what do you call it? They want to make our immune system low and lower the vibration of the human being. And they're killing us with Wi-Fi and blah 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 blah. What I'm saying is, the girls are going to talk about now. Look in our grocery store, the food. The food in our grocery store is like old. I bought a head of lettuce the other day, and it lasted 2 days in the refrigerator. We can't eat the shit fast enough. It's because it's sitting in the fucking store shelves, and it's growing. It's getting old there versus in your own refrigerator. You see what I'm saying? So they're doing these things in our world to perpetuate the problem. we see
and
the
they won't
problem.
stop no matter what. Yeah, they won't stop. That's the thing. You have to. Nazi pedophiles just won't stop themselves. They can't. It's not in them. They either have to be in charge of it, or they have to rule it, and they don't see another way. Like, that's what I keep trying to explain to people. They want they want to see people as good and kind and nice and love and light and all that hippy dippy bullshit that, in my opinion, is just the result of long-term MK Ultra acid. That's the only explanation I can have for why the hippies, the real legit hippies who are all about keeping it cool and peace and smoking pot, now they're supporting fucking Ukrainian Nazis and genocide in Gaza. I can't think of another logical reason why anyone would do that, especially when you know their character, and their character is not of violence. But they're okay with violence as long as it's in the name of America.
Let me answer. Let me respond to this. Miss Sherry Simmons says, "I think I'll stick with Jesus and the church, and know how to fight the demons." Okay, let me say something here. If you are Sherry, nothing wrong with what I'm about to say. And please don't take offense to this. If you are literally blinding yourself with just that, please understand what I said. You're blinding yourself with only that specific teaching. There are a lot more to understand outside of the scope of just that teaching. So again, don't take offense to what I just said.
Yeah. And also keep in mind that the King James Bible is not the teachings of Jesus. Okay. The letter J didn't even exist in the Middle East. Okay. The King James Bible wasn't actually written by King James. It was crafted by the Council of Nicaea, a Masonic cult going back to 300 AD, and that's just when they were uncovered. All right. Now, the book that King James did write, Demonology and I, is about his torture methods for people like me, where they would raid villages to kidnap people of my blood type so that King James could drink our blood and commune with the demons that you're so scared of. So in my experience, and I will tell you one more experience I've had because I've seen shadow people all my life. I used to sit in the balcony of the church I had to go to when I was 14, and I would watch people as they prayed. And I would see shadow people come up to them and steal their energy through their third eye as they prayed in their fear. So whatever freedom you think your religion is giving you, I can tell you, is an illusion from a first-person perspective. Because no matter how hard I prayed, no matter how hard I wished, no matter how hard I invoked the name of God or Jesus or anything like that, it didn't make the shadow people go away.
See,
the only thing that did was when I learned how to channel my own power.
This is what I don't get. The moment you start telling some truth, people bail. Now, I get scared. I love the Yvonne, okay? I do. But I want you to hear me. Please. I keep trying to tell people that, and it really, really upsets me, man. I'm not kidding. It bothers me that I upset her. And I know I did, and I didn't mean to. But damn it, man! The way I see this is if you are literally only taking in what is written for you to be to be a good little domicile person, okay? The way I feel it and see it, then you're doing yourself no justice. There is nothing, seriously, I would not be, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't, I'm not going to say the word ignorant. I'm saying, arrogant. If you think that you're so arrogant to think that is the way it is, you're literally limiting your own understanding of the true reality around you. Because again, these people that are trying to bring forth the truth are dying because of the truth. I'm talking about occult whistleblowers. I'm talking about satanic, you name it. They're dying trying to tell you the truth, and you're going, well, I'm only going to follow this book. What the fuck? Do you see what I'm saying?
Well, I mean,
It bothers me, man.
That ultimately becomes the problem, doesn't it? We're dealing with something that most people can't explain, okay? Most other people don't understand, and then the rest are too scared of to do anything about. And it's supposed to be that way. That's the point. You know, like, people don't realize that they're being herded until they're in the pens. That's not okay.
No, it's not okay.
Definitely not okay.
It is not okay. If anybody has ever tried to really remote view the Vatican, you'll understand what the church is into.
Look up the effigy of Moloch that they sit on.
But that's hitting too close to home. Right? You cannot make this shit up. It is literally right in front of your faces. And again, man, I come from a snake handling kind of religion. Okay? Southern Baptist Pentecostal is about as damn deep as you can get. Okay? There were people dying in the name of religion because, well, no, you'd have 2 or 3 of them die per year from a fucking rattlesnake bite, but glory be. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Oh God, bro. Whenever I was again, waking up to understanding was a shocker to me. I was angry, bro. I will not say it. I was angry. Get behind me, Satan, for I proclaim the blood of Jesus Christ. So be it. I mean, okay. That is a statement that I will back. I completely back your belief. And I'm not gonna criticize you for it. I'm just simply telling you there's a lot more to your world than you will even read. Sorry, but you won't read it. You won't find out because, well, you're told not to. So therefore, you're gonna jump. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, and that's okay. That's completely all right. What happened to you, Mr. Anon?
I'm here.
The church.
Listening. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it comes down to every individual, doing whatever they want to do.
Sure.
But it's not going to make anything better to sit there and pretend like the world's not, ending as you know it. Like, you're either going to face it or you're going to have to accept that you have no power over it. And I don't think that's really an option worth exploring, if you know what I mean. I personally think that if you want to take charge of something, then you absolutely have not only the ability, but the obligation to do so, as that is, part of the mandate of just being a good human in general. But you can't just look at it like there's going to be nothing to lose, because there's always something to lose. And it's your choice whether it's going to be now or later, but you're never going to have any absolution for it. You're never going to get past that guilt. So it's either now or later, but never is going to be so destructive on your soul. And from me, I know that you're not going to want to live with yourself anymore. So I'll give that choice to you. And let's just keep in mind, because I'm still actually really bothered by that comment earlier, like, what can we do? Like, that helplessness. Well, what could John BARNETT do? He could have sat quietly. He could have taken his retirement. He could have sat as Boeings fall apart in midair and people get hurt and die. But it wasn't a choice for him anymore because he'd been personally involved. And it's not like he hadn't tried to come forward before. All right? So apply your own experience to that. And understand no one's safe. Not the people you care about, not the people you love. You're all going to them. So are you going to stand now, or are you going to stand maybe a little too late when one of those black vans has taken your sister, your cousin, your mom, maybe you? Okay. There's no winning. You know, it's just survival at this point. But we can't coexist with the people that want us dead or enthralled. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I thought we could, I'd be talking to them, not you.
Let me say something real quick, because I want Sherry, here's the key, okay? If this broadcast is triggering you, change the channel. You have that option. Okay? Just change the channel. She's like, try Rick Runer. I don't even know that name. Maybe you'll learn something. Let me tell you something, okay? I'm 48. I was in church all my life. And I guarantee you I can put you to the test. Okay? I have been involved in church all my life, since up to my 32 maybe. And this specific comment, right? You know, teach me something. Why I can tell you, the moment you call me, I'm not going to try to change your belief. I'm not going to try to change your whatever. I'm simply sharing with you, right, what I've learned in my reality about religion in general. It's not just Christians. It's all 4,300 of them. There's not just one.
That's funny. Yeah, that's funny.
Sorry.
So, just to Sherry Simmons. Anyways, let me tell you basically.
She's bothering me.
I've read the Sinai Bible, okay, and I can tell you from reading the Sinai Bible that the King James Bible contains nothing of the truth. Okay, not a damn thing. Okay, there ain't a piece of that in there that was original text. Not the Gospel of Barnabas, not the Judas Scrolls, none of it. Okay, not even the original text from the original Sinai Bible, which sits in Turkey as we speak, remains in the King James Bible.
Oh, God.
The letter J did not exist until the 15th century. Not until the 15th century.
I have got a female,
So
Kenny.
that's where you're at.
Kenny. This is who she reminds me of, is Kenny. I've got a female Kenny in here. So I am, and you don't know your Bible. Let me ask you, you answer me, who Jesus, who was Christ? You tell me who.
The original name, the original word Christ.
Stop. I'm asking her. Don't answer that question.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I'm asking her, who was Christ? And better yet, let me ask you this. Did Christ follow Yahweh in the Bible from the Old Testament? Was Christ a supporter of Yahweh? That's a simple yes or no. And then we'll tell, if you can come up with that answer, then you're obviously, you know it better than I do. It's a very simplistic question. Did Christ follow Yahweh? Yes or no? I can hear Jeopardy music. Because here's the thing. All of these people that are trying to blow the whistle, again, on the satanic cult, okay? Because formality of a religion is based upon taking your true control out of your own hand and giving your power to somebody else. That's literally what it is. They want to take that control from you. You know what? And I'm out of it. I'm done with that. For real.
I agree. And I couldn't agree more, actually.
I agree. Well, I mean, no offense, but I'm not truly, I'm not asking you to agree with me. I'm not, dude. I love you, but it's like all of the religions, especially the mainstream religions that will get you killed when you try to expose it, right? Jesus died on the cross to save my sins and yours. No, he did not. No, he did not. See, there's number one where you're wrong. Christ did not die on the cross for your sins. He died on the cross because he was trying to teach something that went against a Roman, okay, a Roman control mechanism. So there's number one. That's what you're taught. That's what we are taught, Miss Simmons. Okay? I hate to say it, but I'm telling you the truth. He is a teacher. He was a teacher of paganism, a teacher of mysticism, a teacher of spiritualism. Okay? The harmonious balance between you and nature, and they did not like that. That is the problem. That is what the problem was. That's where you don't know your Bible. Tell you what, call you know what? Next week, call me up, and I'm telling you right now, Kenny, female Kenny, you ain't gonna like it, but I will go ahead and I will dabble with you, and you ain't gonna like it. I'm just telling you. She says, nope. Oh well. Do you got anything to say, bro, while I take care of this? Because she's gonna get a kick out of this. What do you think? Are you gonna say anything, or did you leave? Because I can't hear you. Where? Check this out. Yeah, I can't hear you. You got gone. They do that to him from time to time. They like pull the plug on him, and there's not a damn thing that you can do about it. It's like he'll be talking to you 1 minute. There you go. There's your mic.
Okay, so can you hear me?
We can hear you now. What do they keep doing to your microphone?
Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't changed anything with it. So, the word Christus in ancient Sumerian means anointed ones or chosen ones. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, this correlates to the arrival of an entire group of people who were found after a large fireball was seen going down into the Baltic Sea.
That's funny.
In the ancient Sumerian text translated by Sitchin and then reaffirmed by Michael Tellinger. And to this day, okay, and this is something you can look up for yourself, they are finding harmonic levitation devices on the shores of the Baltic Sea as it recedes. Right. Just like they are finding the pages of the books of Enoch, the books of the Nephilim, and the books of the tablets of Thoth that were lost, okay? Which is, something you can't ignore because it's the most profitable archaeological digs on the planet right now. I certainly hope you can't ignore it.
Archaeological digs?
The evolution of the Christus. As for the evolution, look up how much a page of the Book of Enoch or the Book of Nephilim goes on the black market and the open market. It starts at $1.1 million. The Gospel of Judas, okay, illustrates how Judas went to the cross instead of the Christ of the time, and how the Christ of the time was and then this is confirmed in the Gospel of Barnabas, which, by the way, the Vatican wanted until the Turkish museum that holds it said no, and after that the Vatican claimed it was a false book. Okay, cause and effect much,
right?
And then it is confirmed by the Gospel of Barnabas, which details Judas' rise to the cross, okay, as the Christus of the time ascended to the sky in a blue beam of light. Now, just to tell you about the Gospel of Barnabas, it's written in gold Aramaic lettering, and it's bound in sheepskin, and it's 3,000 years old. Okay, so I'm sorry that the story that you and I were told our whole lives was a giant fucking lie to condition you to accept body eating and necromancy as long as they're doing it, quote unquote, in the name of God. But the fact is the fact, and hiding from it isn't going to change it. You know, the reason I stopped going to churches was because the last church I attended, we busted one of the largest sex traffickers in American history, the largest sex trafficker in American history at that time, who was attending my church and trafficking kids out of it. These are housings for monsters, whether you like it or not. The Christian religion was founded and authorized by a blood-drinking demonologist known as King James. Okay? These are the facts. I don't like them. I wish I could be ignorant to the facts, but these are the facts. Okay? You can ignore them or you can accept them, or you can just hide from the historical evidence. When I stopped hiding, that's when my mind was set free. If you don't want your mind set free, that's your choice, but then I have to ask you, why are you even here?
Ouch. Damn. Participate. What does Tammy say? Participating by eating some as the well. See, that's the thing.
The Eucharist is the body of Christ.
Yeah. See,
it wasn't always a cracker, bro.
Right. See, that right there was something that I had to really understand, and that is the ritual. Right, but it's okay. Yeah. It's completely okay under that veil of illusion and the swinging of the.
They're warlocks that tricked everybody into tracking down their prey, is what it is.
Oh man, bro, what's gonna happen to these people whenever they truly understand what's before their face? I'm gonna ask you.
It's going to be monstrous. I don't know a better word for it. The dreams I've been having, they're freaky enough that I don't want to remember them when I wake up. But I know there's a reason I'm having these thoughts in my conception, and it's because I've seen this somewhere in my mind's eye. I don't want to have these thoughts. I'd rather entertain beautiful things and just write poetry and, spread love and goodness and fairness, but we don't have time for that shit.
My teacher.
We can be kind to each other.
That's
we can't afford to waste time.
I gotta say something. Morgan says that she looks at Christ as her teacher. No, I'm sorry, brother. She'll just say that, and I gotta love that comment, because growing up, Miss Simmons, that's who I know as my teacher. I learned the teaching, and I follow the teaching. Okay? I believe in the teaching. He was a teacher, and he was persecuted, okay, from what I was told, because of the teaching. That's it. Now, if you follow Hinduism, Buddhism, paganism, did Christ teach Christianity? No, he didn't. What did he teach?
No.
What did he teach?
He taught absolute acceptance.
Dun, dun, dun. So, there again, the formality of what he taught today, they would crucify him again. They would kill him again. If he was here today, they'd do the same damn thing right now. You can't tell me they wouldn't, because total acceptance, right, is a paganistic belief. It is love thy neighbor. He's a teacher.
Yeah.
That's what he was. He was a teacher. So was, the list can go on and on and on of what he taught. And again, tell the truth, you'll die for it. It's crazy, but it's true. Absolutely true. All right, broski, I'm gonna let you go. I've kept you here for 2 hours. Thank you for being with me, bro. I've really enjoyed the time with you. Hear me? It's been fun,
dude. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
I always really enjoy hanging out.
Cool. Do you got anything positive to say to all of these people? Because it's been interesting. Interesting night.
Like I said, if you really want to take action, look up transhumanist political party members in your area, petition them when it comes up to them running for office, and just stand for what's right. It's not that hard to do. It's really on you. But if you don't do it now, when's good? When is it going to happen if you don't do it now?
I agree with you. Put the fire under your mayor's ass, your governor's ass, and everybody else, to be honest with you, because that's where it starts. It starts with you, not just me. Here's what I did. Let me share this with you before I leave you, Anon. You ready for this? Check this out. So I started a group called Akron Events, right? Akron, Ohio events. And I've got like 4,000 or 5,000 people in that events page, right? And dude, now that I've got that 5,000 people in there, and I've noticed a couple of them post on the mayor's page. Dude, I'm going to start dropping truth bombs in that events page about my community. Because the moment I start dropping my truth bombs on the mayor's page, dude, like I've told you guys before, I've literally had to go down to City Hall and talk to them and say, would you please unblock me from the mayor's page? You don't have the authority to do that. It's funny, but you watch. I'm gonna start dropping some truth bombs in my Akron events page about my local community, and we're gonna start standing up. So do that, everybody. Just create your little city events and start raising hell. It's the only way that we're gonna to do this. What do you think of that, Anon? I started a little page, and yeah, I'm gonna raise some hell, man.
I'm with whatever as long as we get results. I'm not the only one with ideas, and I find ideas flow a lot better when we all collaborate. So, get in your community, awaken people to the fact that transhumanism is trafficking. There's no way around it.
We could go on
now
about
apply that to an entire race of people, okay? All of whom share a hive consciousness, just like all human beings or humanoids do on the same frequency. Now think about that, okay? We're a group. You feel connected to certain people, especially people of your blood type. If you procreate outside of your blood type, it's toxic. Literally can destroy your health, kill your child. Unborn children can die if they're, Rh positives inside of an Rh negative female. That's the way it is. We're totally different species. Just accept it. If you're Rh positive, I'm a different humanoid species than you are as an Rh negative, and there's plenty of room on this planet for us.
Right.
Now think of all the other humanoids hiding in plain sight. The Christus never left. We're still here. We still have power. But the lies you were told about our powers, okay, and how we manifest them, some only manifest their powers through really diabolical means. Okay?
I agree with you.
And it works for us because we have higher energy because of the copper in our blood. It makes us able to generate different frequencies of energy. That's why we can influence, infiltrate, empathize, understand, and overtake. And if you look at it, that's the Ashkenazi playbook beginning to end. I'm just the one giving you the equation so that you can solve it and fix the rest of your fucking life. Okay? If you want to actually fix it, that's your choice. Okay? But we cannot waste time believing in things that were designed to keep us mentally controlled by people who literally drank blood to commune with the same demons you're trying to fight off. It doesn't work. I've tried it and tried it and tried it. And I know you're still trying it, and the nightmares still come. Right? There's only a few ways to cleanse from that shit. And none of them involve that name.
Edumacation. Edumacate yourself. Let's just leave it like that. Edumacate yourselves a little bit.
Okay.
Right? That's what they need to do. Those that think that, just edumacate.
Yeah, just go look at the Gospels of Barnabas. Go look at what's been translated to the Judah Scrolls, the Tablets of Thoth, which, by the way, even Cat Williams knows about the fucking Tablets of Thoth. The Book of Enoch, the Book of the Nephilim, what's been translated, the translations of Zichron. The truth is all there. And the thing is, that truth hides your own power. Because I guarantee some of you are Rh negatives who are hiding from their own power just like I used to. Some of you are Rh negatives who are embracing your power just like I am. And some of you are somewhere in between waiting to realize your own power, which only the truth of your ascendancy can do for you. You are the culmination of your entire bloodline. Every bit of power, every ability been manifested in your bloodline exists within you, whether you acknowledge it or not.
Thank you, bro. We're out of here, man.
All right, man. Have a great night. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Sorry I got a little preachy, but take care.
All right. Well, take it easy, buddy. I'll catch you next week. Next Wednesday.
Always a pleasure.
All right, buddy. Thank you. Alrighty, man. What are we gonna do? Where are we gonna go? Right here. Check it out. All right, man. Thank you for everybody being with me tonight with NASAnon, our NASAnon contractor whistleblower. It is always good to hear from him. Again, topic of the show, I'll tell you the truth, even if it kills me. Got a whole list of little faces up here that are no longer with us anymore. They talked about all kinds of things in our reality and tried to shed and bring them to light, and died in the process of doing that. Again, it covers everything from the materialistic reality to the esoteric reality to religion to everything. They're persecuted and killed, just like religions, right? NASAnon, again, bro, I hope nothing happens to you. I hope you get your Facebook page back. And everybody, check this out on Friday night. You are not going to want to miss this. We've got 2 Matrix girls coming forward, going to share some really good information about food. It's going to be their broadcast. Okay? Airbrush Mish and Miss Norma from Canada is going to come on Friday night and talk to us about what we got in our refrigerator that we're getting from our grocery store that's dying and in within 2 days. I don't know what all they're going to talk about. I really got to be up on that. But nevertheless, don't miss the Matrix Girls here on Friday night, okay? Meantime, you guys take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and I'll catch you guys here on Friday night, 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 9 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock West Coast hate time. Good night, everybody. Crank it up on the way out of here, man.
We're in the Matrix.
Love you guys. Peace out. Pow.
Yeah. Let's do this. One of the fastest growing talk shows on the internet. Your show, welcome aboard the Matrix Minds. One of the most controversial conspiratorial shows on the internet, the Matrix Minds. And that's right. Buckle up, everybody. Let's go. Paranormal, huh? Conspiracy, huh? Ufology, hidden Egyptology, and anything and everything we can get our hands on. Let's go. Welcome aboard. The Matrix Minds. The Matrix Minds. Your show.
You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing. Stay in Wonderland. All I'm offering is the truth.
Matrix Minds audio backtracks by Richard Roller from Victoria, Australia. All of your audio needs, audio creation, audio editing for the podcast, for movies, outright music creation, Touch Base Productions. Contact Richard Roller at richardroller007@gmail.com.
Hey everybody, Austin here with Colorado Custom Game Calls. Are you looking for a game call for your upcoming season? Are you looking for something unique? Are you looking for a gift for the hunter in your life? Well, look no further. We got you covered. At Colorado Custom Game Calls, you get to put your own twist on these calls. Whether it's waterfowl hunting, big game hunting, predator, or turkey, we got you covered. So be sure to hit us up on our Facebook and Instagram or on the web at ColoradoCustomGameCalls.com.
What is up, all my beautiful and gorgeous souls? I am Michelle Espinosa, otherwise known as the Shaman, through the Matrix Mind Media. So tell me, how many times have you wished that you had that special power of prediction? You know, to know what was going to happen before it actually happened and took place. To have some power and control over that situation before things came flying at you out of left field. The thing is, you actually can have that power. You can be aware of what's coming. Tune in to Astrology TV with me for Breaking the Cage every Sunday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Matrix Mind Media. And I will go through the astrology and help put you on the right course and get you back in control of your own life. Love you guys.
This CBD fluid is a whole flower fluid extracted from the cannabis flower. We don't use any heat, butane, or chemicals when we extract, so we get all of the components of the plant. All the CBD, CBG, CBA, all the terpenes, all the flavonoids. This allows our body to absorb at 60 to 90% rather than the average of 6 to 10% absorption you would get with a CBD oil. Because our bodies are made up of mostly water and this is a fluid, it's highly absorbable so that you're getting 500% more nutraceuticals per dose. We also have this available in our CBD spray as well as a muscle rub with all kinds of botanicals. You're going to absolutely love it.
Check it out, Brainiacs. MatrixMinds.live/CBD. The CBD I use. Feel free again. Feel alive again.